It's another sad morning. Another woman down. Murderers still on the run. Humanity imechukua U-turn iko replaced na insanity. Utumishi kwa wote, mbona kwa arrest suspect alihepa. Squeezy news ni horrific na slogan ni the matter is still under investigations. Na ni very few suspects ndio wako detention. Madam saizi wanaishi na tension, akitoka home morning ajui kaba jioni atakuwa statistic. Saizi ni kakuwa demi death sentence suspect wa murder. Anachiliwa bila sentence, evidence ni overwhelming. Si mnakumbuka ile kesi ya Wanaija, but you're innocent until proven guilty. As a country tuko place filthy. Mademu wana mado wakirepiwa na women rape wamenyamaza. Silence is violence, so you're part of the violence too. Niaje bunge itame close to protect women and yet majority are men. Niaje women watakuwa safe wakati perpetrators wako scot free. 10 years later bado wanasako na daily mademu wanabakwa kama sheria ni msumeno. Mbona pande zote ijakata, mbona Bruce bado wako Bruce. Ni crazy.
Hey Questers, welcome to another episode of Quickie Chat, where we talk about the highs of love, the lows of loss, and everything in between. My beautiful name is Rosita, and on today's podcast, we have an amazing guest. She's a friend, a mentor, a CEO, a co-founder, and just an amazing personality. She's an artist, one of the best we have in Kilifi, and so she's flattered. Yeah. So and I'm so happy to be hosting her on our first episode of Quickie Chat in 2025. Karibu.
Yeah, Asante.
Will you just brief us? Apondi ni nani? Because
Okay.
I just know Apondi. Yeah.
So Apondi is a spoken word artist. I am a spoken word artist. I prefer calling myself an activist because I do art for a cause. I do art for social justice and for social change. I'm also a community level 5 counselor, passionate against the fight against crime and drugs.
Okay. So kabla tuende sana, Happy New Year. And how has your first days of 2025 been?
Yeah, Happy New Year. It's been hectic. It's like mwaka ilikuwa inaningoja iishe, ianze na mimi. Like it's really been hectic and crazy kabisa. But yeah, I'm glad I made it here and I'm healthy pia. Yeah.
Hectic in terms of work, studies?
Both, everything like in between, because I have to like work. I also have to study. Upcoming exams, it's crazy, like
Inakumiza moyo. Okay, so like you've said, it's crazy, and as I was being told I'm going to have Apondi on this show, I was just thinking of just having this artistic person. So crazy. What has Apondi been doing? Because Miss Mate's been busy.
But then I'm glad to be here kabisa. I think I've never been on a podcast before, by the way. Yeah, this is my first time, so yeah, I'm glad to be here. So yeah,
Karibu.
It's been a bit busy. You see, it's the start of the year. We run a CBO. We have to put things in order. We have upcoming events and all that, and also I have to balance between like work and studies. And I'm also a bit into carpentry and art, and I had like overwhelming orders here and there. But yeah,
Unatafuta dollars. The goal is the bag.
Tutapumzika binguni.
Nice one. So just to start, who is Apondi? Like, umetuambia you are an activist, you are a mentor, you are a guidance and counseling, sindio? So what is your real name, your occupation, and what are your latest projects apart from carpentry?
Okay. I don't look like my real name. Disclaimer. My real name is Sumaya Musa. I call myself an all-round artist. I'm a creative entrepreneur. Anything art, anything that involves creativity, I make a living out of it. And among my latest project is a collection of a project called Kesho Kileo. So Kesho Kileo is basically urging the youth and the patriots of this country that if we stop speaking up today, it will be sour tomorrow. Like kesho kileo. Kileo is symbolic, and it has several meanings. Like kileo, kileo is like a drink, an alcoholic drink. Then there is kileo like ki-leo. Then there is kileo, like it's today.
I mean, nilikuwa nimeelewa ya leo. Like today, like I think being an artist makes you so creative. I wouldn't have thought in that way. But thank God I have some people like you.
I'm glad. So I've worked on Kesho Kileo, and it comprises of 3 pieces. So one of the pieces is called Ua. Ua is a piece on femicide, because last year we had so many and very sad and devastating cases on femicide, where women were being killed, women were being abused and harassed, and the perpetrators were not brought to justice. So I was compelled to write a piece about Ua and how it affects the women in this country, and how it also affects me as a person. The second project is called Zuzu. Zuzu is about the current political situation in our country, and I know when you go a bit political, maybe it may pose a threat on your security currently.
As an activist.
So as an activist. So and the other piece is called, I wanted to do another piece on Kesho Kileo, but I felt like it would get me into trouble. So I did not release it. Like, I have not released it. It's still there. I'm still thinking about it. So instead, I decided to just put tobacco on the place of that other piece called
Okay, so I've heard you say ukai jinako. Mbona una feel hivyo?
You see, sikai jina yangu because Sumaya Sumaya is a Muslim name. I'm a Muslim, but I do not look like my name, so I prefer separating my activism from the real me, who is Sumaya. And let's say when I meet a Muslim and I tell them I'm Apondi, they go with it. But if I say I'm Sumaya, there's so many other questions asked. So to avoid that, I just say I'm Apondi.
Because I don't want to get on the religion basis. But did you grow up mostly as a Muslim, or you had a mixture of both?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I partly grew up with my father, partly then grew up partly with my mother, and I would say I had a mix of both.
So need different religions?
Kinda, because in my family there is a mixture. My mom is a Muslim, my dad is a Muslim, but the other relatives who surrounded me, it's a mix of both.
Apondi is a Luo name.
Apondi is a Luo name.
I've heard it amongst the Luos. So Apondi inamaanisha nini?
Apondi, I asked a Luo. I'm not a Luo. People think I'm a Luo, but I'm not.
It's because of the name.
I know.
I was like, like mtu kuitwa Apondi. Like, I've only had 1 or 2 names growing up, and you are the third one. So I was like, okay, hii jina inamaanisha nini?
Okay, I once asked a Luo, and I stand to be corrected. Juu watu wanaweza kudanganya, but sijui like jitoe, jionyeshe, something like that.
Mimi najua kupondo ni kujificha.
Si kujitoa?
No, kujificha like
Wow, I was living a lie.
But we stand to be corrected. Mi sijalelewa sana na Kijaluo, so I stand to be corrected. So what's your occupation currently?
I would say currently I am a creative entrepreneur.
Oh, you're also a student?
I'm also a student. Though in most spaces, from my experience, if I say I am a student, they start seeing me differently. They do not take me seriously.
Wanakunyonga in.
Wanaanza kuninyonga. The pricing goes from here to here. Simply because you said you are a student. Okay.
Unataka tu upkeep.
Upkeep. You don't need much.
You don't need much. But then I get it, and sometimes ni ngumu kuambia mtu, like sometimes when you are called for a job, because I'm also an entrepreneur, unasema tu mimi ni Rosie, nisionge mambo mingi, because ukisema hata when dating, when you tell somebody you're a student, nakuja na mambo mingi.
True.
So one of your latest projects umesema ni ua.
Yeah.
You'll do for us that's at tukimalizia show.
Okay.
But okay, I've listened to it a couple of times because before you even shot it uliniambia about it.
Yeah.
So I've been on YouTube nikisikia and where the lines ziko fire. Yeah, so like it was about femicide and it was about the 16 days of activism single.
Yeah.
So like one of the lines was dem Hakatiwi Anakatwa Katwa.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, kumekuwa kubaya hivi.
Yeah.
And then the other one was like behind closed doors dem and alikata onions. Just two lines. Ulikuwa unafikiria nini ukiandika the whole
Yeah, because like the femicide cases were so scary and devastating. Whenever unafungua news, unaangalia kwa simu, TikTok, like everywhere is just femicide, how a woman was killed, how a body was found, how a what. Then research was done and it was revealed that most of the women were mostly being killed by their husbands first. So those two lines were a bit informed by that research, because like squeezy dem Hakatiwi, squeezy dem Katwa.
Yeah.
Because you will find some people maybe mtu amekatia dem, then maybe it didn't go well venye aliplan, or maybe the girl hana interest and all that. So this guy, instead of taking that rejection venye inafaa kuchukuliwa na move on, this guy decides to take it out on the girl na anamuua. Then that other one, onions, anakata onions behind closed doors, is about how you see this. Let me use an example of these campus relationships. Out there inakaa so lovey-dovey but ndani watu wanachapana vibaya sana.
For real?
Yeah.
Nikumoto.
Nikumoto.
Because okay, alafu watu hawaingili. By then mbona watu hawaingiliangi kusupport ama kusaidia?
I do not understand why, but I think maybe ni one, information. Two, mtu anasemanga sini yao, ni wao, it's none of my business. Then maybe three, it will be wanapigana kabisa, then suddenly wanafunga mlango, wamenyamaza.
Kuna hii ingine kuna mtu alisema watu wawili wenye wameni kitanda moja wachana nao. And I think that's one of the reasons people wana avoid kuingilia domestic violence sana. Sometimes you can go there uombea mtu, make sense to them, like achana na ujamaa, clearly there is no like hakuna future between you two, and domestic violence and dem atatoka one day tena urudiane, then you look like a fool.
Like, true, you look like actually another kuingilia. Njoo babe, alikuwa ameniambia nikudamu.
For real.
Like ni wewe sasa unaongelewa in that, so unaonekana like the bad person and you're just trying to help.
You're just looking out for a sister.
Yeah.
And okay, hapo kwa kukatwa, there's one thing I was looking at in a perspective of unaona mtu akikatwa most by their husbands. Do you think people assume red flags a lot? Because unaona by the time mtu apigwe katwe, I think there's a series of violences zenye zimekuwa.
So on that, I think inakuwa influenced by so many factors. One, there's culture. There's this culture of ati ni wacha ibaki ya boma, huyu ni bwana yako, usimwaibishe.
Hiyo ni culture.
It's a culture that ni mambo ya boma, like let's preserve this. Like kuna vitu zingine huambiwa watu ati ni mambo ya boma, it will be shameful, it will be what. Then also on top of that, there's this culture ati niseme aje, like a man is supposed to be like is supposed to have toxic masculinity, ati akikuchapa anakupenda, like there's that. And there are women who really believe that kabisa ati asipokuchapa hakupendi, but akikuchapa anakuonesha to love, or probably wengine wana assume ako overwhelmed na stress na nini, alikuwa na hard childhood and all that, so mtu anakaa tu. Another one could be trauma bond.
Hapo
you see
that happens a lot.
It could be trauma bond pia. Ile yenye your father probably when you were growing up alikuwa anachapa mamako, and you were seeing that, and kuna venye iliku affect in a way that you see many girls venye babako wako, that those are the men you'll also get attracted to. if your father is toxic, you'll tend to get attracted to this toxic man and you'll keep on staying because uko trauma bound, you can't leave.
And unajua like hapo kwa trauma bond, mi usema until you are self aware, because these cases are there. There's also a youth say kuna nini, I think you've been so busy, but kuna a current podcast ina trend sana. Yeah, Bumpy and Sophia, and just around the same, you can listen to it, but it's almost the same thing. And I think that trauma bond hukuwa mbaya until you're self-aware. Walking out of such relationships or marriages hukuwa ngumu sana.
Sure.
So aside from that, there is inspiration. Kuna kila mtu anakuanga na place yenye ali find their purpose. Like, where did you draw your inspiration from?
I remember I used to write kitambo, but just write too, without a purpose, without anything. So in 2020, I unfortunately found myself in a very trying condition. I found myself in a correctional facility. So from there, I will just write poetry to console the others and to give others hope too, and maybe to correct like the injustices that were being done here and there. And that's how and that's how I wrote. And through that, I saw like the power of poetry live. It healed me, and it also gave hope to others, and it also changed perspectives and all that. So that was my biggest motivation.
Ilikuwa hiyo ya correction.
Ilikuwa hiyo ya correction. And through poetry I healed, and through poetry I found a voice that like I could vent in, because maybe I can be going through something, then I form this character. Then I channel all my emotions to that character, then everyone else and I relate.
Because people relate a lot to their content. Mambo hapo kwa ua, I think kuna wenye tuna relate na ni vile tu sema mbele ya cameras. We've either seen it one way or another, and ni vile tu uwezi sema because you're in the limelight pia. You won't uwezi sema some things about you. And then you've told me you are in a correctional service.
Correctional facility.
Will you share what got you into there? Ama we can skip.
You see, how I answer that question is, kitambo I used to say the whole story and all that.
I don't even want you to do that.
But nowadays, I only say I'm a beneficiary of the juvenile justice system.
It made you who you are today.
Yeah, it made me who I am today, because it changed my perspective on a lot. It made me stronger. It made me meet amazing people who believe in me. Like, it made me who I am today.
I'm so glad you are finding the positive aspect of it. And you drew your courage from it. And will you choose to do whatever you're doing, even in another life? Just to nasemanga this afterlife.
This afterlife.
Will you do the same thing you're doing right now? Poetry and all that, and activism.
You see, in my next life, I will start earlier.
Okay, unaja ikifika kwa talent, kuna vile parents support. Do your parents support your talent?
Hapo kwa parents, okay, I lost my mom.
Oh, sorry about that.
And ilikuwa ni a bit, niseme aje, she was scared because talent, at first dancing nini ndo lilifanya nika kind of deviate kidogo. So when I came out, alikuwa scared kidogo, akakuwa like, hey, atarudi huko. So at first alikuwa a bit skeptical, and unajua once nilitoka, I spent 1 month with her, then nikakuja port and I never went home. So but though from my sisters, I hear that she was really proud of me, akiona pieces zangu and all that. At first she wasn't supportive, but I guess she grew into starting to support me.
I'm so sorry about her loss.
That's okay.
And I'm so glad that you were able to feel her love. And your siblings could share that with you. Kukumake you feel like mom hakukukasirika kabla ende. Nona. And I think that's one of the reasons you keep doing what you're doing. Because sure. If your siblings, sometimes you just need one person kukwambia go for it.
True.
And then let's talk about drugs. There are pieces you've written about drugs. si ndio?
Yeah.
And sitaki utuambie ile yenye nini, but there's one you wrote about tobacco.
Yeah.
What's the drive? Nini ilikupush to, because you channeled it mostly through tobacco.
Yeah.
Au kuongelea pombe, shisha, nini?
Niliongelea tobacco.
Yeah.
So one, I will say when I wrote tobacco, I wrote it for competition. But I couldn't find the inspiration ya kuandika tobacco. Then I started looking at my family history. Then I remember growing up nikikuwa mtoto, my grandmother was a heavy smoker.
Oh my God.
And nilikuwa nalala the next bedroom towards her, na kwa na ceiling, so you see that all that smoke.
Moshi, yeah.
Ilikuwa inanikujia. And when I started smoking, kumbe sasa nilikuwa nishaanza kusmoke at a young age, ile passively. So when I started smoking, mimi mwenyewe kanishika kabisa tobacco. And tobacco is really bad. Do you know you can quit alcohol? Uta shake nini withdrawal symptoms, you can fegi. It is highly addictive and it is so hard for you to stop smoking. It is harder for you to stop smoking cigarettes than for you to stop like drinking alcohol, because cigarettes are highly addictive.
Somebody told me the same, because sometimes unajua hizi streets madem tunakatiwa and all that. And sometimes when somebody does drugs like tobacco, I'm usually scared, like not for me but for each and every person. Imagine unakaa kando ya mtu, you're not an active smoker, but because you guys are in love and all that, you have
to be there. And you're the one taking like the higher percentage. Yeah.
So I am glad you are able to get your way out of it by the sana, because I know people fight with drugs. I've grown up kwa places zenye nimeona people struggling so much with drugs, so I'm usually happy when one soul anatoka tu huko, because there's a way drugs driving it behind.
Sure.
So let's talk about something else, entertainment sasa. Mambo yako.
I would call it entertainment.
Yeah, but okay, like there's Apondi mwenye anafanyanga entertainment, like unajua unatubamba in a way. Mwanzo sauti yako.
One thing you don't know about me, I hate listening to myself. I have not listened to
for real.
I don't know how to explain that, but nikiona nikisikia tu mtu anza kucheza piece yangu natoka hapo. I
think artists we struggle with that. Jota me kama content creator sometimes kujisikiza tu ati welcome to my channel. I'm usually like
kujisikiza. Yeah.
Si staki. Sometimes it's alafu najua my voice is not so loud. Napata mtu anakwambia sauti yako ni ndogo. So it's okay. And then there's a video you said because when I talk about you being entertainment industry, it's because you are called to platforms to perform and you are paid to perform. Sindio? How do you think about the entertainment industry? Because you are also having art and arts. And arts, I've met artists there. Patana na a couple of people who do crochet, who do graffiti, who do art, drawing. Nona. What do you think about it in general?
So when I started poetry, I was just writing it. Then kiasi this thing came, nikaanza kuvent and all that. Then I came out. So once I came out, nikaendelea na poetry. And I remember the first piece, I used to write gospel pieces at first. Then I moved on to, I wrote the one that brought me to the limelight was Apondi. I wrote that. Then my manager back then, alichukua the clip, then akapost kwa TikTok, and it went so viral. And everyone, it really went viral kila mahali, and everyone started calling me Apondi, and I adapted that name, Apondi. So I will say it did not pay me at first kabisa. And then nika shift kidogo, I started doing I don't know, sikuwa na niche bado. I was just looking for a niche. Then I was kind of doing it for quote entertainment, but it wasn't paying off. Then I restructured and I was like, okay, it's not paying off. It's not creating the impact that I want. So what should I do? Then I re-strategized. Then I was like, okay, what are the current affairs? What are we facing as a country? What are the challenges we as a people, as the youth of this country, what are the challenges we are facing? So I was like, okay, fine. I can write a piece about femicide. I can write a piece about the current political situation in the country and all that. And I started researching about Kina Pio Gama Pinto. I started researching about like generally the history of Kenya, the Mau Mau fighters. I started researching about the position of women during the fight for independence and all that. And it gave me this certain drive that I think I could start doing poetry for a cause. Things that anyone and everyone, no matter the age, they can really relate to. And I was like, okay, fine, let me now start writing. So once I started doing that, I apply for, we have creative fellowships. So I apply for those fellowships and napata knowledge narudi. Then from there, at least nikaanza kupata gigs with organizations. Tobacco, I got gigs, nikapata gigs kuna other organizations. So I feel like me finding my niche kwa social justice, ikaanza at least ku bring something to the table than me just not having like a niche. Though pia nikiitwa place yenye they want quote unquote entertainment and whichever theme they want. I am not a fan of writing love pieces, but but if I'm being paid to write a love piece, I would write a love piece. And for
you're dynamic.
I'm dynamic, and I would say for the art industry is a bit tricky because you cannot depend on one thing. On like just one form of art. Like you have to depend on different forms of art. And the main reason we formed Anakatwa was tulikuwa tunatumika sana kama creatives. Vibaya. There's a piece I did inaitwa Revolution ya Kisana. Like nilikuwa niko pissed mse anakuita kuja twende uperform
mazile ya pusa ulijam vibaya.
Nilijam vibaya. Imagine. And I was like, but the one thing I will not do is to have school performances.
I've heard you say that again and again.
School performances, no, because I feel like as a school they do not value art.
They don't pay.
They don't pay. They don't value. You see lazima, you don't have to give me money. You see, I'm a student. You don't have to give me money. What if you say, okay, for every performance you make, maybe your fee itakuwa paid at 3,000 or 5,000. Maybe your fee will reduce to that extent. Unaget? So it's like a win-win. Maybe I usually say my art is holy. My art is holy, and niseme aje, I'm a vessel. Unaona, I'm a vessel. God amenipatia hii talent. Ameka kwangu, like I'm just a vessel to pass a message. Unaona, and vessels dry up.
If they're not nourished.
If they're not nourished, vessels dry up. If you give up the vessels, zina dry up. And I take my stage as a holy ground. Kabisa. And you see, it's ni energy, you give out a lot. And kama haiku benefit, that is when many artists get into depression, because art is very spiritual.
Exactly.
And on Art and Hearts, I would say the main reason we formed it was just to, you see, it's hard for one creative to demand a lot of pay. But when you're under an umbrella, it is very easy for you to easily get paid. People will be like, sitaki kucheza. Let me just pay them what they deserve. Like if you organize yourselves, pia mnaanza kuheshimika, mnaanza kuonekana differently, and maybe gigs pia zinakuwa like zile zina
zamana. Because I've met you on a couple of gigs, and you are as a team. And I think my first place kupata gig hata ilikuwa through nini. I came for one of your events, ile Mazingira Park. And that's where people recognized me. And I really appreciate. Sana big time.
Anytime.
And because we are winding it up, I just want you to give us your socials kwanza. Then you'll do for us that your last piece as we say goodbye.
Sure.
Where can we find Apondi?
So you can find me on TikTok, IG, X, and Facebook. Facebook, I need to do better on Facebook. But Facebook and X, I need to do better. Also on YouTube at Apondi the Poet. Apondi, then THEE Poet.
Kila mahali ni hivo.
Kila mahali ni hivo. Apondi the Poet.
And then amesema she's also doing carpentry, so mpatieni kazi.
Yeah. najaribu so
I'm so happy you're also chasing the bag through another way, by the way.
yeah.
And I'm so happy for you generally.
Yeah,
Thank you for being here, and we just appreciate you and we love you.
Yeah, thank you for the
nalo.
invite.
Let's give you a few minutes then utuchezeshe hiyo.
Okay, I will. But they ilipata different reactions. Like, wow. Guys who are really in my DM bashing me.
Bashing you.
Bashing simply because I said, of course, who kills women? Not fellow women kill women. It is the men who are killing women.
Yeah.
People saying, oh, uko kwa one side peke yake. Oh, women wanajipeleka. Oh, so I'm like, okay. The message is home. If you can be that hurt, then at least my art ilishika ka place.
Ilishake mahali.
Yeah, ilishake mahali.
And you know they get so defensive by this sometimes.
Yeah, so defensive,
and
very
me
defensive.
usema, if you are an artist, do your part.
Yeah.
Me, I can relate to the women. We can relate na men not doing the same. Do
your part.
Yes,
yeah.
Because I can't relate to something that I'm not trauma. Like I have no experience to, and I'm not even related.
Yeah,
so
sure.
they get that defensive, and it's so much okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, I will do. Though, is long.
Why is long?
Hey, it's
Atupe
really
tuka mistari moja mbili tuki
Yeah.
close up.
Yeah, sure. Tani wapati mistari. Just anani of it. Okay. It's another sad morning. Another woman down. Murderer still on the run. Humanity imechukua U-turn iko replaced na insanity. Utumishi kwa wote, mbona kwa arrest suspect alihepa. Squeezy news ni horrific na slogan ni the matter is still under investigations. Na ni very few suspects ndio wako detention. Madam saizi wanaishi na tension, akitoka home morning ajui kaba jioni atakuwa statistic. Saizi ni kakuwa demi death sentence suspect wa murder. Anachiliwa bila sentence, evidence ni overwhelming. Si mnakumbuka ile kesi ya Wanaija, but you're innocent until proven guilty. As a country tuko place filthy. Mademu wana mado wakirepiwa na women rape wamenyamaza. Silence is violence, so you're part of the violence too. Niaje bunge itame close to protect women and yet majority are men. Niaje women watakuwa safe wakati perpetrators wako scot free. 10 years later bado wanasako na daily mademu wanabakwa kama sheria ni msumeno. Mbona pande zote ijakata? Mbona Bruce bado wako Bruce? Ni crazy. Tulifikaje hapa? Ati dema Hakatiwi sikuzi dema na Katwa. Ati dema kidaiwa na yeye adai ana dedi. Ati Adamu ako na craving ya damu. Ati Adamu boil na anga tena na boil binadamu. Ni crazy. Yeah, it's ukitaka the rest of it you can go check it on YouTube at Apondi the poet. Mtaipata iko na the video and the rest of it hivyo. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much Apondi for being here.
Yeah,
I love your art. I'm a big supporter of your art.
Thank you, I'm humbled.
Sana. And mkikuwa na events will be coming. One of my good friends wa art and arts ni Grifo.
Grifo, yeah.
Yeah. And we met through other events, and
Yeah.
I just appreciate the work you guys do.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best in your studies, in your work.
Yeah.
Forms zijipe, bills
Bye.
zilipwe. God mbele, si ndio?
Yeah, siku zote.
Yeah. So that was our episode for today. Keep on subscribing, liking, sharing our content, comment, and until next time, bye.